Hey guys, this is SB fan here, and again, I'm so sorry. It's because during that time in the week since Sunday, like last Sunday, um, I had a big flu. It was terrible, and I just couldn't resist it. I had to go to the clinic at Target just to ask about my medication, how to get rid of this flu. It's like a virus flu that's for a week, and so basically it's just terrible. So today I'm somewhat better, but I need to get I need to get back on track. I've been getting off track so many times. I will try tomorrow to go back for another episode, so don't worry about it. So we are now on episode 7 of Godzillathon, and that is... Oh no. No. I don't want to review this. No, I don't. Yes, I had to review Godzilla versus the Sea Monster, also known as Ebirah Horror of the Deep. And yes, or Ebirah Horror of the Deep, whatever you want to call it. I prefer Ebirah because I'm more used to it. Or Ebirah. Yeah, Ebirah sounds a funny one. Remember how much I complained about Godzilla Raids Again? How awful that movie is, how terrible the effects are? Well, guess what? I saw this movie, and it's a whole lot worse. Back then, I think it's a whole lot worse. It just didn't even do well for me. I mean, the person who directed this is the same guy who directed in the future Godzilla films after this one. I can't remember the name of him. I mean, it's definitely not Ishiro Honda. I mean, who the hell came up with this movie? Like, it's just... I mean, who thought this movie was a good idea? The trailers... Oh my god, you gotta see yourselves coming with the trailers. One of the songs is Night on Bald Mountain from Fantasia. That is not a joke. You know, if you know Disney films and you know Fantasia, you might hear the dun 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 bum bum. That song actually appeared in the trailer. I don't know why would they do that? Why would they put a very dark and scary song when Godzilla is actually fighting one of the lamest kaijus ever? That's fucking bullshit! God. Oh my god. I don't know how to describe it, but let's begin. So we open up to this this opening logo where we hear a lame ass song, the whatever you call it. Then Yata is one of our main characters who got lost in the fucking sea, whatever you call that shit. His brother Ratu actually is a thief, steal whatever that thing is, with his 2 friends. I don't know. So, and by the way, as you should have noticed, the crew, there was a crew, like some bad crew, like, which I thought they were also aliens, much like in some previous film. They actually control a monster that basically impales a bunch of people and eats them alive. And he doesn't capture them to bring them back. No, he kills them and eats them alive. Like he does. That's what Ebirah does, really. So during the whole situation of what the whole bullshit's going on, we see like the natives and the Shubijins with trying to awaken Mothra to help out. Yeah, and by the way, this is the Mothra that was supposed to be in the previous film, Invasion of the Astro Monster, but unfortunately, like I said, Toho never bring up with this idea, so they stick with Godzilla Rodan. So Mothra is in her growth form, Moth, in her imago form, yes. So they had to awaken her just to rescue these people, and they had to sing like a very long song, I guess. So then the human characters actually encounter with this beautiful native girl. They actually countered Godzilla sleeping in a cave with like electrical coils, or this wire, whatever you call it. Godzilla seems to be sleeping right there, and the lightning strike, and with like a big like sword, like if it was Sword of the Stone, and Godzilla's been awakened by a lightning strike. Wow, brilliant! So then Ebirah encounters Godzilla, and they're playing catch. Like it's like playing volleyball and shit. After all that crap is going on, blah 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 blah, and Godzilla actually sees a girl. Which, by the way, this is one of the things I complain about Godzilla, is that Godzilla actually encounters a little female human. Basically, I have no idea why would he do that. I mean, until I realized why, which I'll get to that in a moment soon, with the whole thing with why is he interacted with a female human, if whatever. So then Godzilla actually was spotted and fighting a whatever you call that motherfucking vulture thing, which, by the way, I'm sorry, that's the giant condor. It's called Daikondoro. That's its Japanese name. That's its Japanese name. But I'm still gonna call him the giant condor just because I know how to say that correctly. So basically, this whole fight between these two, Godzilla and the giant condor, is probably the worst monster fight ever. You can't even see anything. So after that whole entire bullshit thing, Godzilla blasts his atomic breath once, and the bird dies. Bam! That is the weakest monster I've ever seen in kaiju history. Ever. Christ. That fight right here, like, don't get me wrong, there are some other bad ones, like Batman Begins had a terrible, like, crime fight right there, where Batman is fighting a bunch of criminals, and the scene was just too tragic, like I can't even see anything right there. Like, all I can see is just Batman kicking the crap out of these guys, and it's too close to the camera. That was horrible right there. But this movie seems a lot worse, and I mean worse than any other fights in cinematic history. Ugh, God. I mean, oh, and by the way, that female right there, that Godzilla encounters with and falls in love with her, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think she's the same actress from the previous film, Invasion of the Astro Monster, where Nick Adams' character falls in love with. That's pretty much the same actress, just different characters. That actually happened with a few actors in the future films, which I'll get to that in a moment soon. So, yeah. After this whole bullshit going on, and by the way, that is the longest song ever that Mothra has to deal with, just for the natives and the Shubijins had to sing, dance, and all this stuff. Mothra finally gets up and shit. I think I must have forgot something in one of the previous things, like in the beginning of the film. There was like Ebirah attacking a ship. I forgot that. And the song, it's kind of like James Bond. Fucking stupid, actually, because James Bond's supposed to be has badass songs and badass movies, but this one here sucks with its song. Christ. So after all that bullshit long song, Mothra finally gets her ass up. Finally, girl. So then, Godzilla, I think Godzilla was meant to destroy, Godzilla did destroy the entire base. Planes attacked him, which, by the way, that scene has been recycled in another Godzilla film. After this one, it's been recycled. That scene's been recycled the second time, and that's in the other film, which I'll get to it soon in the other videos. that Godzilla attacks planes. Godzilla did destroy a bunch of shit, like the entire base. Ebirah comes back, and Godzilla fights Ebirah once again. This time, ripping off both his claws and shit. And Ebirah went back into the sea. Blah 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 blah. That was the most boring. That was one of the most boring fights ever. One of the pointless ones. Mothra did save a bunch of humans. Mothra encounters Godzilla about not to harm the humans. Godzilla was about to go to the humans. Mothra pushed him actually, just to make sure that making sure that the humans are safe from Godzilla. Mothra knew that Mothra was trying to save them. He didn't even know what he was doing. When the base was about to explode on an island, the entire island, Godzilla did a cannonball right there. Yep, there was a Godzilla cannonball. That was the first time he ever done that. Yeah, a bunch of people are saying they're shouting Godzilla to jump because this place is gonna blow, and guess what? He did. Boom! The entire place exploded. So then Godzilla and Mothra went to Infinite Island, and Godzilla went back to his island, Monster Island, of course. And that's the end. Bye. Yep, that was a short review, and why is that? Because, like I said before, the film sucks. It fucking sucks. Why would anyone want to watch this movie when it has one of the lamest script writings? The story is terrible. It's a stupid movie, and the movie is like 87 minutes. That's how fucking long this movie is. And it's one of the shortest Godzilla films ever. It's such a lazy idea. Well, not the most lazy idea ever. There's one that's completely lazy, which I'll get to it futurely. So, yes. The characters, let's just say the characters are boring. One of the guys, is so fucking annoying and shit. I just couldn't believe why would they ever do that. Like, it's such a stupid thing. Oh my god. Think about it. It's stupid. And the movie is directed by John Fukuda. I think that's his name, John Fukuda. He directed a few other Godzilla movies. He directed Godzilla vs. Gigan and Godzilla vs. Megalon. Not to mention probably the best movie he directed, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. He even directed the next one after this one, which I'll get to it soon. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, come on, man. Good. The future movies after this one seem to be better than this piece of crap that he has ever directed. He not only that, but he's like the director and scriptwriter of a TV series called Zone Fighter. Do you guys remember Zone Fighter? Because I sure as hell do. I thought it's a great series, and that takes place after Godzilla vs. Megalon. Really, it does. And that's completely it. My god. So, and the music is Masaru Sato. I think I've heard of that. Name before. That person, he's like the composed, like, I think this is one of his movies he composed for Godzilla. I mean, what else can I say? I mean, what other, I don't know, like, one of them, he also did Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, I forgot. That movie was great. He even directed the next one, which I'll get to it soon. Yeah. So, that's basically how I could explain. Now I gotta talk about the monsters. Now, listen guys, before I start off with the monster I'm gonna say, do not comment to me that I skipped the giant condor. I know I did. Well, it's because the giant condor is not a kaiju or a monster, just a bird, for Christ's sakes. Yeah, I'm gonna skip that thing. But let's talk about Ebirah first. Since he's the least monster I just don't care in the franchise, I'm gonna start with him. What were you guys thinking of creating a monster like this? I mean, this guy is not even a threat. He's just a giant lobster, like crab, like shrimp. And yes, I said shrimp because ebi means shrimp in Japanese. So what's the point of bringing a monster that's so lame and with a scary song that came in the trailer, Night on Bald Mountain, um, that with a terrible looking monster when it's not even a threat? This guy is just annoying. Like, look at this bastard. Look at him. You call that a scary looking monster? Of course not. It's just a weird looking monster with no special abilities, with a weird sounding of a roar, like "Ooh!" Like it sounds like Captain Hook shoving Peter Pan's ass with a blade. Yeah, it's like Captain Hook shoving a blade in Peter Pan's asshole. My God, that's what it sounds like. How am I supposed to explain how stupid or how terrible looking this guy is? I mean, what am I supposed to say, guys? Just tell me, what am I supposed to say? I mean, this guy is. I mean, I can't explain it anymore. He's a terrible looking monster. Yeah, he totally does. Moving on to Mothra. Like I said, this is probably the worst movie to feature Mothra because she has this is basically pointless to feature her. This is like she's feeling pointless and lazy, and it took so long for her to get out of her nap. Like really, uh, I, what am I supposed to say? It's stupid enough to do that. Like really. Now I'm gonna move on to Godzilla. Nothing to say much except a few things. Godzilla is this is the same design from Invasion of Astro Monster. Um, yeah, and I should have mentioned before why Godzilla is interacted with a female. Basically, this is a movie meant for King Kong, like the lightning strike, romantic ship with a female and shit. That's King Kong's thing already, but they scrapped King Kong off the page just to put Godzilla in it because two things. One, Toho wants the money. Second, Toho is all about Godzilla. That's the end of the story. Godzilla is always what Toho really represented for. Exactly the way how it is. I mean, and the lightning strike. So lightning strike to help Godzilla. That's like it started out with Frankenstein, then to King Kong, and finally to Godzilla. Brilliant, just brilliant. Oh, and that pose right there. Let me be clarified, people. That pose that I'm showing the picture right now is pretty hilarious. I love that pose where he puts his finger on the face. It's kind of hilarious to me. It's pretty cool. I love that. Um, oh, and another thing, I didn't mention this previously. That picture from Brandon Colt before you go watch his video on YouTube. That picture right there with Godzilla and Mothra having a dinner date and Ebirah as their course, like their dinner. That's something I can actually imagine instead of some stupid writings and shit like that in a fucking movie. I mean, God. So, yeah, that's all I can really just say. That's pretty much it. I mean, that's all I could say. So, basically, my thoughts on this one, I don't think you should ever show this to any people who are not Godzilla fans, because it's not even worth watching. This is definitely worse than Raids Again. In my opinion, it's even worse. So I'm going to give this movie a 1 out of 10. Yeah, I will obviously give it 1 out of 10. It's just a terrible thought of watching a movie like this. So, there you go. 1 out of 10. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.